Welcome back. As we mentioned earlier before in our intro, we're going to be embarking over the important official visit by the South Korean President Kim Jong-un to Egypt, as he took it for his first stop to the region here. It started on Wednesday, it's going to end today. And of course, he discussed with President Abdel Fattah a number of political, economic, and military topics. And also, sources revealed that President Moon's visit comes within his comprehensive partnership agreement signed between the two countries during President Sisi's visit to Seoul, and that was in March 2016. As we all know, this is the first South Korean visit to Egypt by a president in 16 years. So we're going to be shedding light over the highlights and the economic repercussions of that important visit. With us live here in the studio is Dr. Zeinab Nawar, our economic analyst. Good morning, Dr. Nawar. How are you doing? Of course, this is the first visit by South Korean president to Egypt since a lot of years, almost 16 years. That's why it holds an importance, and the timing of the visit, and also he chose Egypt as his first stop. If you'd like to elaborate.
Of course, choosing Egypt as his first stop, this is, of course, it came from our importance in terms of our role in Africa and also for the MENA region. So this is very logical, this is very natural that the president of South Korea that verse Egypt to be in Egypt. But I'm so happy as an economist about this visit, and I see that after 16 years having this important visit, because it's the time now for Egypt is to look for different partners to achieve the economic development and economic growth. South Korea is very rich country in terms of development, in terms of growth. Their experience in achieving human development is very rich. So it's time for us is to look for these countries and also to strengthen the ties and the economic ties and to benefit from their technological advance, from their successful educational and also what we can say training experience, training the labor, achieving an industrialized revolution. We have to, of course, to strengthen the ties with this country, South Korea, one of the largest, one of the powerful countries, economies worldwide. We are talking about number 10th in terms of the GDP growth, in terms of the technological advancement, in terms of ship buildings, and also the latest technological means, the latest training, and also the latest hub for technology. So we are talking with one of the most important countries ever now for this time, and even for the time of Corona. And it's time for Egypt that we look for other and different partners to work with and to benefit from.
Of course, both presidents, they agreed on boosting cooperation in multiple fields to support Cairo's efforts towards a fourth industrial revolution. What does that mean?
This is very important to supporting the industrial revolution. We need technology. It's for Egypt to achieve development and to achieve growth. Yes, technology should be number one for whoever cannot obtain and work and implement on the latest technological means. This means that you are out of competition. This means that you are out of the exportation, you are out of having an international weight. Without technology, you are completely out. So having this bilateral cooperation and bringing technology, and also the South Korean side is welcoming this, because sometimes for some countries they don't welcome that. Maybe they will give you a technology to a certain standard and that's it. And it's happening because it's part of the game. It's part of the competition worldwide. But for the South Korean countries, they are welcoming to help you, and they want to help you. They want to bring us the latest technology. They want to support us. So we have to what we can say, benefit fully and to the maximum from the latest technological advances that they do have. We need to bring also experts from their side. We need to train here our labor and our workers in different sectors and use their means of technology and their means of training to train us. This is very important. So we can achieve a lot of benefits from this type of bilateral economic cooperation. So I think that it's a chance for us, and we have to use it to the maximum and to the full stage that we can do.
Earlier in a press conference, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have stated that Egypt is looking forward to a huge development leapfrog modeled on the successful South Korean experience. If you like to elaborate, because this was a very important phrase by President Sisi.
Yes, of course, the South Korean experience is coming from that the South Korea also as one of the Asian countries that they dependent heavily on successful experiences in education and educating their population. This is what we are, of course, working on, is to do a further advancement in the education, and also for what we can say also in the terms of workers and in the industrialization and moving into industry. Korea is one of the model countries that they've truly depended on themselves. They truly worked on the innovative means and innovative technology to educate their population and also to move into higher stances in technology without depending on other whatever European countries. So we can follow this model. We can see what they had done in terms of advancement in education, in terms of working on research and development, and we can also copy this excellent model. So yes, we can benefit from this. We can benefit from them in also the field of industry. We can bring the latest technology from them, and also we can benefit from this through grants, through loans. We can take part of their grants and their technical assistance in part of training to train us in different industries, in different means, to see what they are doing now and what their latest technologies now in, and we can copy this from them, and we can easily do that since they are welcoming again to support us.
Right. Let's review together the agreements that were signed during this visit. There was a bilateral meeting that was held between both presidents, and they have witnessed the signing of a number of agreements. First is the Memorandum of Understanding to conduct a joint feasibility study on trade and economic partnership between the two countries. If you like to elaborate.
Yes, having this type of memorandum of understanding that you are putting the main items, you are putting you're saying that the two countries are welcoming further cooperation in trade and also in supporting any type of economic development or any type of projects, and this is very good. And of course we are welcoming this as an Egyptian partner, and we can benefit from this also in trade if we can bring more in terms of FDIs to work in Egypt also, and if they can also support in exportation, so we can just work on these two windows, trade and also FDI. So trade, yes, we import a lot also from Korea, and we export to Korea, but we need to export more. If there is a good ground, and this is what have been also tackled, a free trade agreement between Egypt and South Korea, this is an excellent stance that you can allow for the Egyptian products to enter the South Korean borders without paying tariffs, and this will give a high competitive advantage to the Egyptian products. And also the same you will do, because you will bring more of products from South Korea. Maybe you will bring more cars, you bring other products. So since we talk about free trade agreements, since we talk about facilitation of trade, so this will entail a huge benefits, a huge also windows and new windows to our Egyptian exporters to export to these countries and enter these borders without paying tariffs. You know that tariffs and the amount of tariffs, it also entails a certain amount of the cost of any products. So once you reduce the cost for the Egyptian producer, so you are facilitating his work and also the exportation and Egyptian exports to enter to the South Korean, and this is very excellent, and also this is very important pillar that we want to benefit from for our Egyptian, of course, manufacturer, and this would be a great support for the Egyptian economy. But the FDI also, if we can bring more FDI, foreign direct investment coming from South Korea into Egypt, this would be also excellent. Already there are two main mega project in electronics, one for the Samsung and the other LG, and they do an exportation of their products out there also. So this is very good. But if we look for more and more of high technological types of industries to be brought into Egypt in terms of FDI from South Korea, this will be an excellent thing.
Of course. Also, there is a memorandum of understanding on financial cooperation with the Korean Economic Development or the Cooperation Fund, the EgyptSouth, for years from 2022 to 2026 with a value of $1 billion.
Yes, this is a loan that would be given to the Egyptian government, of course, to support some of the developmental project. This is good also because this will give us the cash and the financial support to do more projects. So, of course, this would be of a great support to the Egyptian economy, especially that we are taking this loan with a low interest rate. So, of course, that when we repay this amount of loan, we will do this repayment at a lower interest rate. So, this, of course, will help us to work on further projects. This is good also because we still need more financial support if we can get it, and if we can get it with lower interest rate to work on more developmental projects. So this is also a great support from them to us. But over and above, the most important thing and the benefit is from trade, is from FDI. Yes, getting loans and support in terms of grants, this is okay. But again, if you talk about more development, more growth, more support to the Egyptian workers, more support to the industries, we need to take from them as much as we can, investments, as much as we can, the know-how and the technology. This is the most important thing.
Of course. Also, there is a document between the governments of Egypt and South Korea regarding a $251 million loan from the EgyptSouth to upgrade the Egypt-Luxor High Dam Railway, which is also very important.
Yes, very important because they're supporting us in terms of this type of transportation and transportation means, and it's very important also for development because we've talked about this.
That also includes the new projects of the monorail and all that?
No. What you are actually asking about? It's about the railway.
Only the Egypt-Luxor High Dam.
Yes, Luxor, Egypt, and yes, it's very important because we are working on the development of Upper Egypt and how we are going to develop these types of governorates. So this is very important to facilitate the transportation.
Particularly important sector.
Yes, it's very important, and again we had talked about this several times, and even with you, Dina, here, they're talking about this infrastructure projects and transportation means and railways and all of this type of modes of transportation. It's very important to linking different parts in Egypt, especially if we're talking about one of the important governorates like Luxor and Aswan and the development of Upper Egypt as a whole. This is to also lower the poverty rate, to stop any types of what we can say poverty brings social problems, we can talk about these types of terrorist attack that we used to have before and we don't have now. So developing the Upper Egypt and developing the poorer parts of Egypt is important.
Egypt is, mainly focusing on infrastructural projects. And that's why we need that type of support when it comes to transportation.
Yes. This is why I'm telling you that the South Korea are welcoming and much welcoming to support us. They are looking for what types of projects that we need help in, and they are supporting. They know that we are working on the infrastructure and this type of transportation modes and all of this, so they would support in this and bringing the technology, give you loans, give you a grant. So I see that it's big potential for us that we have to fully utilize.
There is also mutual letters regarding a non-refundable grant of $7.9 million US dollar.
Yes, non-refundable grant means that they are giving you this grant. Sometimes this grant also entails technical support, training. So it depends on whatever this grant will be used. It also can support us in terms of technical expertise if some of technical expertise that we would like to bring from South Korea in different sector, or to do a twinning with any of the ministries, for example, to bring the know-how. So sometimes these grants are being used for this. So this also would add to the training for those who are employees in different ministries, or even we'll talk about workers for different economic sectors.
Right. The South Korean president voiced personally his aspiration for cooperation with Egypt in fields of telecommunication also and information technology. He described them as industries of the future. Of course, it's industries of the future. What type of cooperation would we expect that would come in those fields?
What type? Yes.
Information technology and telecommunication.
I think the most important thing that if we, and this is already we had started to work on when we talk about the, what we can say, the reform to the governmental sector and the way that the government is doing its work and to lessen the bureaucracy. All of this type of reform and innovation that the government are doing now, if we talk about digitalization of the economy and also digitalization of the work of the government in taxation and tariff, I think this is very important part that they can help us in. Also, if we're talking about the transportation modes and bringing the latest technology in terms of how to run the system of the transportation, how to collect data and information. I think these areas are very important for us, and I think that these areas also are very important for us if we like to create a hub of knowledge and data and information about different parts and different economic sectors in Egypt. This is very important also. One of the important areas also that they should help us is the green economy and these types of environmental aspects, and how to move into a clean economy with less pollution. One of the most important areas that they should help us in, they are, of course, they are one of the top countries. They're working in shipbuilding, and also the latest innovation in what we can call green ships, and all of this type of, they have the latest clean and green technology that can be applied to any type of transportation modes, whether ships, whether cars, whether even trains, railway system. So all of these types of latest technology, we can also bring it into our country. So again, the Korea is a very important hub for us to be brought in terms of a lot of high technological and advanced sectors in whatever means telecommunication, green economy, industrialization, whatever we would like to, we can also benefit from them.
It's obvious that the growth recorded during the last years in the bilateral trade relations turned Egypt into South Korea's most significant commercial partner, no doubt. But what type of measures to enhance this commercial and trade ties in the future?
Again,
how can we fortify and enforce this partnership, commercial and trade partnership?
Through trade, if we can create a free trade agreement with them, and we had worked on this, this is one of the. First, you cannot enforce a country that's to support you. It's about agreement, it's about negotiation. But it's about the right implementation of the agreement, and then if you can just, I mean, it's win-win situation.
Exactly.
There is something called, there is nothing called a free lunch. You have to also to support them in a way or another in some grounds, so they will support you. And this is one of the means that you can also ensure that they can support us on economic stage. So first thing that you have to be serious with them. For any Egyptian exporters who are going to export to South Korea, they have to follow the specs, abide by the rules there, and also be careful about the type of product that we're going to export to South Korea. What else that we can done also? Maybe further visits that could be done by the Egyptian businessmen to go to South Korea to see what they do need, and also to invite more of South Korean businessmen to come into Egypt and to see the latest advancement in all that we had done, and to show them what exactly we need In terms of course, part of the support is grants and through loans, and this is good. But also, maybe part of the support is to be very intelligent. If you talk about the government side, is to encourage businessmen from South Korea to come and to invest in whatever industries, in whatever sectors we need them to be in, and how to equip them and what can say facilitate also their work and facilitate their work. If they would like to start a business in Egypt, we have to support them in this. We have to give them the true support.
We only have 1 minute left, so if you could give us a full assessment, a thorough look assessment over this important visit.
The thorough look of this, an assessment of this important visit is an excellent ties with one of the promising countries on this earth. I believe in this. Getting technology and research and development is one of the most important things for us to guarantee the sustainable development, and this will coming through the ties with this what we can say important countries like South Korea. That's it.
Dr. Zeinab Nawar, and our economic analyst, would like to thank you so much for coming over. You have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
All the
Thanks
best
so
to you.
much.
And we're going to go to a short break, and we'll come to continue the breakfast show, so stay with us.